The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hello students, how are you all? Hope you all are doing well. Can you imagine a world without movement? It would be similar to the life of a plant, isn't it? The development which we see today has been possible only due to the fact that we are able to move. So today, we'll be discussing the physics behind motion. Before going to the new chapter, let's have a recall of what we have learned in the previous chapter.
Hi friends, hope you're fine and safe. I'm Shifa from 9C. Today I'm come with a recap on chapter Equations of Motion. In this chapter we studied about how to draw position time graph and velocity time graph for equations of motion and how can we do problems using these equations. First we studied about the position time graph. Position time graph for uniform motion will be an inclined straight line and position time graph for non-uniform motion will not have a particular shape. Next we studied about the velocity time graph. Velocity time graph for uniform motion will be in a straight line parallel to the x-axis. The velocity time graph for uniformly accelerated motion will be an inclined straight line. From the both graph we can find out the displacement of object during a particular time. Then we studied about the three equations of motion, that is V equal to U plus AT, S equal to UT plus half AT square and V square equal to U square plus 2AS. Here V equal to final velocity, U equal to initial velocity, T equal to time, A equal to acceleration and S equal to distance of displacement. These equations are only applicable for the uniformly accelerated motion. Then we do some problems using this equation. Hope you all understand this. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, dear. Let's start our new chapter, Motion and Laws of Motion. Look at this picture. You can see the movement of the children, isn't it? Have you ever thought of the force required for that motion? Or do all the movements require force? We will be discussing about this in detail. Let's do an activity. Today, one more person is there to support me to do this activity. Can you guess who will be that person? Yes, it is your favorite Kirti teacher.
Hello children, happy to meet you. Hope you're all fine and safe. Diva teacher, today what we are going to do?
First, we are planning to do an activity, teacher.
Okay.
Will you support me in this activity?
Sure teacher.
Okay.
Diva teacher, so now what we are going to do?
We are going to push this table from the same side.
Okay, so I have to come there. Right?
Yes, come. Children, now we are going to push this table from the same side. What happened now?
Yes, they know teacher because we have applied force along the same direction, right?
Yes.
So the table moved along the applied direction of force.
Yes. Here, the table moved in the direction of applied force. Now, Kirti teacher, can you tell me which type of force is this?
This is unbalanced force.
Okay, so unbalanced force makes an object move. Let's try another activity, teacher. Okay, now we are going to apply force from the opposite direction.
Listen children, here we are going to apply force on this table in the opposite direction. So, teacher, shall we begin?
Yes. Here what happened now?
Yes, here we have applied same force in the opposite directions, right? So, as a result, what happened? Yes, the table which didn't move.
So can you tell me, teacher, which type of force is this?
This is balanced force. So my dear children, balanced force which won't make an object to move.
Yes. So we can conclude balanced force will not make an object move. Now let's do the last activity, teacher.
Okay.
Here what we are going to do is we are going to push the table from the opposite side.
Okay.
Okay. Now teacher, you apply the force. Yes. What happened now? What happened here, teacher?
Why you have applied this much force?
As a result, what happened?
Yes, that table moved along this direction.
Okay. So, who have applied more force here?
Of course, Divya teacher.
Yes. So, can you tell me which type of force is this?
This is also unbalanced force.
Okay. So, from this we can conclude only unbalanced force makes an object move, whereas balanced force will not move an object.
I think they are clear with this concept now.
Was it interesting, my dear children? Thank you, Kirti teacher, for supporting me in this activity.
Thank you teacher. Bye children.
Suppose this is the table. 50 Newton. We too are applying 50 Newton. Okay, so the total force acting on this table will be 100. Okay, 50 plus 50. So the total force acting on this table is 100 Newton. As a result, what happens? The table moves in the direction of force applied. നമ്മൾ ഏത് ഡയറക്ഷനിലാണോ ഫോഴ്സ് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തത് ആ ഡയറക്ഷനിൽ ആ ടേബിൾ മൂവ് ചെയ്തു. Yes. In the second situation, what happened? We too were applying force from opposite direction. Isn't it? And is there any movement for the table? No. The table was not moving. What is the reason for that? Here we are applying the same amount of force. Okay, for example, I have applied a force of 50 Newton and teacher has also applied a force of 50 Newton. Okay, whether there was any movement for this table? No. What may be the reason? Why the table didn't move here? Here I have applied a force of 50 Newton and teacher has applied a force of 50 Newton but in the opposite direction. How will you find out the resultant force? Resultant force is equal to 50 plus here minus 50. Why we have put minus here? Because that force is acting in the opposite direction. These two forces are acting in the opposite direction. So what will be the resultant force here? What is 50 plus minus 50? Yes, it is 0. So the resultant force acting on this table is 0. As a result, the table didn't move. Okay, now the third situation. We too were pushing the table from the opposite direction, but there was movement for the table. Isn't it? Here, in which direction the table moved? The direction in which I have applied the force. Isn't it? ഞാൻ പുഷ് ചെയ്ത ഡയറക്ഷനിലാണ് ആ ടേബിൾ മൂവ് ചെയ്തത്. So tell me, who have applied more force here? Yes, it's me. So let's see. In the third situation, suppose I have applied a force of 50 Newton and there was a movement for the table. That shows teacher has applied less force. അല്ലേ, ഇത് ടേബിളിൽ മൂവ് ചെയ്തു. രണ്ടും ഈക്വൽ ഫോഴ്സ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ആ ടേബിൾ മൂവ് ചെയ്യില്ല. പക്ഷേ ഈ സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചു? ഒരു ഡയറക്ഷനിലോട്ട് ടേബിൾ മൂവ് ചെയ്തു. And I told I have applied more force. For example, teacher has applied a force of 40 Newton. Okay, so what will be the resultant force acting here? 50 plus minus 40. So what is the answer? 10 Newton. So here the table moves in the direction in which force applied is greater. ആരാണോ കൂടുതൽ ഫോഴ്സ് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തത് ആ ആള് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഫോഴ്സിന്റെ ഡയറക്ഷനിലായിരിക്കും ആ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിന്റെ മൂവ്മെന്റ്. Is it clear? Now there are some pictures given in your textbook. So look at this picture. Here the two boys are pushing the table from the same direction. Two boys are pushing the table from the same side, and what happens? The table moves. What will you call such a force? This force is known as unbalanced force. Okay, this force is known as unbalanced force. Is it clear? So unbalanced force can move an object. Now look at the second picture. Here the two boys are pushing the table from the opposite direction, and whether the table is moving? No. Why the table is not moving? Because both are applying the same amount of force, and such a force is known as balanced force. Balanced force cannot move an object. Now look at the third situation. Here the table moves to one direction. So it is which type of force, whether balanced force or unbalanced force? Yes, it is unbalanced force. Okay, so from these three activity, it is clear that unbalanced force can move an object. If the total force or the resultant force on a body is 0, the applied forces are called balanced forces. Okay, balanced force, what will be the resultant force acting on the body? It will be 0. Such forces can neither move a body at rest nor stop a body in motion. അതായത് ബാലൻസ് ഫോഴ്സിന് ആ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ മൂവ് ചെയ്യിക്കാനും പറ്റില്ല, അതേപോലെ മൂവ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഒബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനും പറ്റില്ല. Okay, so if the total force or the resultant force on a body is 0, the applied force are called balanced forces. Now, can you give me a definition for unbalanced force? The unequal and opposite force acting on a body that make the body move in the direction of greater force applied. Okay, so here the resultant force will not be 0. Okay, and what happens here? That unbalanced force can cause change in motion of an object. Look at these two pictures and find out which is balanced force and unbalanced force. Yes, the first picture is the picture of an arm wrestling. Here the two persons are applying equal forces. So it is an example for balanced force. Now look at the second figure. It is a tug of war competition. So that is an example for unbalanced force. Look at this picture. You can see two pulleys on either side of a wooden block. That is, the wooden block is kept in between these two pulleys, and a string is attached to both the ends, and this string is made to pass through the pulleys. Here equal amount of weights are suspended at the two ends. So now tell me whether the force experienced by the wooden block will be balanced or unbalanced. Whether this wooden block will move in any direction. No, isn't it? The wooden block will not move. What may be the reason here? Why the wooden block is not moving? Because equal weights are suspended at both the ends. And this force is known as balanced force. Now, add some weights to one of the sides. So what happens? Whether that force will be balanced or unbalanced now? Yes, the force is now unbalanced. Okay, when weights are added more, what happens? The force becomes unbalanced, and whether the wooden block will move in that situation? Yes, the wooden block moves in the direction where weight is more. The wooden block moves in the direction where the weight is more. Gradually apply more weight. What will happen to the speed of the wooden block? The speed increases. The movement of the wooden block or the speed of the wooden block increases. അല്ലേ? അതായത് നമ്മൾ വെയിറ്റ് വെക്കുന്നത് കൂടുന്തോറും എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും? ആ വുഡൻ ബ്ലോക്ക് ഫാസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് മൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങും. Okay, so what happens when more weights are added? What happens to the speed of the wooden block? Yes, the speed of the wooden block increases. Is it clear? Now, gradually increase the weight to the side having lower weight. Can you change the present direction of motion? Yes, isn't it? When we apply more weight, what happens? The wooden block moves in the opposite direction. So from this, we can conclude when an unbalanced force is applied on a body, it can change the situation of rest or motion or speed of a body. I repeat, when an unbalanced force is applied on a body, there will be a change in its state of rest or the direction of motion or speed. So from this, it is clear that unbalanced force can cause motion. So, whether all the unbalanced force can cause motion? Let's see an example. Whether you will be able to lift a chair sitting on it? No, isn't it? But when your feet is touching the ground, you can easily lift the chair, isn't it? Here, in these two situations, you are applying the force. But in the first situation, when you are sitting on the chair, you are not able to lift the chair. But the second situation, when your feet touches the ground, what happens? You are able to move the chair very easily. So from this we can conclude only external force can move an object. That is, when your feet touches the ground, it is an example for external force. Whereas in the first situation, when you are sitting on the chair and try to lift it, it is an example for internal force. So, whether internal force or external force can move an object? External force can move an object. Let's see one more example. Look at this picture. Here, a man is pushing a vehicle. അതായത് ആ ആള് ആ വണ്ടിയുടെ വണ്ടിയിൽ തന്നെ നിന്നിട്ട് എന്താണ് വണ്ടിയെ പുഷ് ചെയ്യാണ്. Whether the vehicle will move? No. What is the reason? Because it is an example for internal force. And the second situation, he came out of the vehicle and he is pushing the vehicle. In this situation, what happens? The vehicle moves. So from this we can understand external force can move an object. Okay, so which type of force can move an object? Only unbalanced external force can move an object. Okay, only unbalanced external force can move an object. Internal force cannot move an object, or balanced force cannot move an object. Is it clear? So, what all things we have studied today? Have studied about balanced force, unbalanced force, internal force and external force. And we have concluded that only unbalanced external force can move an object. So, go through the class. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. See you all in the next class with a interesting topic. Bye.